when you're going through like troubling experiences or just a desire for guidance, for your life. So consider getting a reading.
Here at Hmong Insights, we are committed to providing knowledge and fresh information from our viewpoint to empower the Hmong community to form their own perspective on their culture. We recognize the existing negativity surrounding our culture and aim to transform the environment. Our podcast seeks to clarify misconceptions and offer valuable insights for the younger generation, while also working to preserve our cultural heritage. We recognize that certain topics may be sensitive, so we kindly ask everyone to remain open-minded, as our goal is to promote positivity and understanding.
Hi, Nyajong. Welcome back to Hmong Insights. I'm Susan.
Hi, Nyashong. I'm Pania.
Hello, I'm Jen.
Well, before we continue, we kindly ask for your support by liking, sharing, and also subscribing to our channel. Your engagement means a lot to us, and that will enable us to create more content for you and everyone, really. If you haven't already, please visit our social media and YouTube channel at Hmong Insights and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Well, today we will be teaching people about what Saib Yaig is, and Saib Yaig means a spiritual reading. And in my line of work, I see that a lot of people have been, misinformed or misled. And so I'm really excited today because there's just so much to share and so much to teach the audience. So what about you ladies? How do you guys feel about Saib Yaig?
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely interested, especially since it's very important because Saib Yaig is one of the first steps, right?
Yep, very true.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. And, I've been a client of yours and I've used this before, so I do like it. And I think it's very important and I can't wait to learn more with the viewers.
Well, here at Hmong Insights, we always start with definitions, right? So, Saib Yaig, no, it's a spiritual reading, and Saib Yaig, it's when a spiritual practitioner, like a shaman, uses their gift to look into your situation, and it's like a diagnosis of your current situation. So it's like going to the doctors and saying, oh, there's something wrong with me. Can you help me diagnose what's going on? Well, a spiritual reading is exactly that, where things are happening to you and you're unsure of what's going on. So you go and, let's say, seek a shaman and say, can I get a Saib Yaig to see what's going on with my situation? And what shamans do, or spiritual practitioners, what they do is they can, tap into the spirit world, use their spiritual guides or talk to spirits or so to try to help determine what's going on with your current situation. So spiritual reading is a spiritual practitioner trying to help you diagnose what's going on with you.
Okay. Sounds like they do like a research, right? Within like your body, your soul, your spirit, and then they tell you what is going on, right?
That's really good. Well, I always talk about mind, body, and spirit. And, every shaman is different. But when people come to me, that's exactly what I do. So they go, oh, can I get a reading? I don't know what's going on with me. I always check, is it just physical symptoms, right? Or or is there a spiritual component to their situation or whatever is going on with them? Or is it just all mental?
Yeah.
So I always make sure to check those three, because if you just check the spiritual realm, sometimes it's like, Saib Yaig work. Well, it's because I had a client really long ago and everything, but he's like, oh, but I still get canker sores. And I said, well, that's because your toothpaste and you didn't.
You're allergic.
Right. And I told him that from day one, but he didn't stop using it. Right. And he's like, well, but why do I still have canker sores? And I was like, again, you need to stop using that toothpaste. So, I mean, just things like that. So you should make sure that, because again, we're spiritual leaders. So we only fix the spiritual stuff. We're not doctors. We're not going to be able to let me prescribe you something for your disease. Right. Yeah. So people have to take that into account.
Yeah. And when you Saib Yaig, it's, that's different from Saib Yaig, right? That's a different reading. Right.
Yeah. So, Saib Yaig is like monks or shamans and things like that. You have to have clairvoyance, or in other words, go to more the spiritual component. And so go to thing or the spiritual side ta. So you have to be spiritually gifted to be able to do a spiritual reading. Like palm reading, astrology, like the Chinese astrology where they look like at like when you're born, time, they do numbers. Those things you can learn, but if there's a spiritual component to it, like you go you gifted, because if not, so like let's say even if like they're using tarot cards, right? And the tarot cards got told it says bad. So let's say you're like, what's my future? They're like, it looks bad, right? So they can't really go, because because you have to have that spiritual gift to be able to give more details.
Go beyond
whatever that they're using.
Sure, that makes sense.
Sometimes people just use a regular plain deck of cards, right?
Yeah.
But they can only tell you, it's a jack of hearts, like you might meet a guy, I'm not sure, right? So you're the clairvoyance, like they can't offer you as much information.
Okay.
So really that means that they can be trained to learn how to shaya, right?
Yes. So it's something I mean, even monks, sometimes like I go to a temple or like they're trained enough to have that spiritual component to like a core or they do just really pull out a book and go, what's your when's your birthday? And they just read me the paragraph per paragraph. So you can be trained because now so go really read information the people say more information so it's black and white. But they can't go beyond that. They can only tell you what their book or their card says. Like they can't go beyond that. Okay.
Very interesting that you brought up like tarot cards, right? I always thought that you had to be spiritually gifted to like give the readings, but apparently people can learn or study to give I guess shayag or readings too, right? So my next question is, why would someone want to shayag? I mean, I know I do it all the time, but why would someone want to do that?
Yeah, so it's when you are going through something and sometimes something that you can't find the answers to, or sometimes people come to me and they have like these symptoms where they're short of breath, aches and pain, but they go to the doctors and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you and things like that, right? So then that's when you want to shayai. And other times is when, let's say, you'll travel or you're going to do something and go shayai to make sure that you're spiritually strong or that there's not a spiritual component to something before you actually commit, like an action or decide to do something. So it's to look into a situation to help guide you make a decision. And that's very broad and, you can shaya for a lot of things, but to sum it up,
yeah. And I think like in our past episodes where it's like that unexplainable like cancer moving from the heart to the lungs to the right.
Yeah.
Like that's unexplainable. Like it cannot be.
Yeah, and within days. It's not like within months or years.
Right.
Yeah, then that makes me curious about how like the three pillars work. Like, are they dependent or independent of each other? Like, basically that's like with doctors and stuff. But like, if you go to the doctor and then they find that there's already a physical problem, should you still even shaya to see if there's a spiritual problem?
Yeah. Yeah. So the three pillars, they are independent and also codependent too. So what I mean by that is like, they work individually and like, let's say, the mind is weak, but then, physically and spiritually, you can still be very strong. But once the mind becomes too weak, then the other pillars also becomes weak also. So the pillars, and as human beings, we're just all interconnected and you have to keep all three strong. And with that being said, they find that there's something physically wrong with you. it's always good to mushayai and fix you physically also. Because remember, there's the 3 pillars. So physically, let's say, lekoto, and then now, come on, chashia, right? You have high blood pressure now. But you want to make sure that mentally you stay strong, exercise, all that good stuff that your doctor tells you. But also, you want to make sure that you're not spiritually weak. Because if you're spiritually weak, no one can tell you that. Yeah. So, and when you're spiritually weak and you have an illness, it makes you get sick worse. Like it worsens your symptoms. So you have to go shayana and go bolandana and you fix yourself spiritually. So now that you're mentally and spiritually strong, go to moncha shelo, the symptoms won't be worse. And also maybe you can get better sooner and just probably get better overall. Because I've seen many clients where and they're on high blood pressure medicine and things like that, but they're mentally, spiritually stronger, and then they, get healthy and everything, and then they overcome it, and then they no longer take drugs for high blood pressure also, right? So every little thing helps. So it's always advisable to shaya regardless. Yeah.
That's good.
But I think about things that have happened that I've heard about, right? And maybe you can clarify this a little bit, but when like pipeline, right? And then they come home and it's a traumatic experience, right? And then they say, right? So I feel like even though they did the physical part, like the doctors and all that stuff, a spiritual part because of the 3 pillars, right?
Yeah, that's very true. So any single time anything traumatic happens, we do a ritual, whether like a tanning or hopefully anything like that, because so they're physically, you need to take care of the issue, you're spiritually now, the person can still or eventually, lose life. So then, because remember the 3 pillars, they all 3 have to be strong or strong enough for you to live.
Yeah.
Soon follow eventually to pillar strong so it's always advisable to make sure that that you're spiritually strong also, regardless.
Yeah. So what are the different types of shayai?
Okay, so shayai launake in our culture, we categorize it into 2. And so shayai launake, the first one is shai ma. So shai maunake, it's exactly that, like or things that you need to know that's affecting you in your daily life. So for example, like or you're experiencing things, not trying to make it scary, but if you're seeing ghost or feeling something weird, things like that. So
things keep dropping on its own.
Yes, that will definitely do it. At the same time only. And anyways, yeah. So things like that you would shayai for, and we'll call it shai ma because it's something that you need to know. Because it's affecting you daily. That even if it's mentally, right? Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Because the word, me and terminology, right? I always get stuck on terminology. But the word maudlin, I think it's like pain, right? But it's not technically that.
Yeah, because, you're thinking about physical pain, but even like emotional pain, that's pain.
Yeah.
Mental pain, that's pain too, right? So that's what there's shai ma.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the second one is shai Hmong. So shai Hmong is exactly that. So you're looking to your destiny. So normally shai Hmong it's things that you don't need to know, and you're looking into the future, maybe. So Monike, you're tapping into the future, and that things that may not be happening right now, such as career, like what can I do in the future to be successful, right? Where's my future? Things like that.
Which we just talked about in our last episode.
Yeah, because that's in Hmong, right? Because so all of that would be considered Hmong. Even fertility. Some people think they Mona, but fertility actually falls under Hmong.
That's a fine line though, because what if like you yin morning,
And 跟猫的是嘛，各有主晒下点，你做工作忙不莫咪多。
Oh, okay.
So that's why it falls under
okay.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then what about like having bad dreams? What if I want to get a reading at that? Is that Shang Mall or Shang Mong?
But yeah, do you text her too?
Every morning.
Yes, sometimes it's like 2-3 a.m. audience, and these
It
two
wasn't me.
will text me, and like I'm a shaman, so when people text me after midnight, usually it's sad news, and I would freak out, and I would be like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, I had a dream that." I was like, "Seriously, 2 a.m. Do you really have to text me right?" But anyways, yes. So we consider that as shine mo because it's affecting you daily, and especially like repeat dreams or yun chai, right?
Yeah.
So yun chai, that's the emotional chai mo, or you're not able to live daily anymore. And also it may be a message that you need to receive. So it's not something dealing with the future, and it actually falls under shai mo also.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then, when you go get a reading or more Saib Yaig, then are you supposed to tell the shaman your side of the story, or is the shaman supposed to guess or do the reading and then do all the telling for you?
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys asked that.
Yeah.
It's really preference. No, it's really preference. Okay. And, when I was a new shaman, some people would tell me like, go cooking mom, no, everything.
Yeah.
Right. And then so when I was new, I did tell people, okay, like, let me look into it and I'll just tell you and just confirm right or wrong. And then after then you can ask questions, right? But I started changing my ways, and then I started asking people, what are they here for? Because here's an example, and I know you love stories, right?
I love stories.
So this lady came, and she wanted to right? So both of them came. But sometimes like children just tag along, so I don't always expect that. And she was young, probably like 13, 14. And so she wanted to share on the meal, and she just like, okay, that's all that she said to me. So because, she was going through a divorce, and there was a lot of infidelity and hitting and violence. So that's all that came out.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So she looked at me, and then I was like, oh, wait. That's not what you wanted, or what's going on? And then so she was like, oh no, I'm here for my daughter. I was like, oh, okay. And I was really new, like probably a year and a half shaman only. Like I was really new. And then so I was just like, oh, I didn't say oops, but I was like, okay, why don't we talk about your daughter, right?
Oh,
yeah. So after a few times of that, I caught myself, and I was like, like maybe she didn't want me to know that she was going through all of that, And after that, like, her face was like, peach
well,
red.
At least now she knows you're legit.
Yes. Cooking now, right? Yeah. But and that's not my place to bring all that out if she doesn't want me to, right? And that's how I am too. I'm very client centered. So if you don't want to know that, or you don't want to talk about that, well, I don't want to bring it out too. So then after a couple times in the gay, now I always ask people, what are you looking to, and why are you here? And then and then so some people will be like, oh, that's a weakness because you have to get a background story. But me, really, I'm trying to protect your privacy, and I'm trying to be here for the client. And another thing is that it's just preference. Even if we know and we ask questions, it doesn't mean that we don't know.
Right.
We just want to be focused or trying to steer clear also. So preference, but either or, it's not wrong, because some people do prefer that. Like as soon as you sit or walk in, they're like, don't talk to me. I'll just give you the whole reading, and I'll just give it to you too. Yeah. So do shaman, play it by ear and let them lead. So as soon as go all right? And then you can say, oh no, or whatever it is, and then kind of let them lead, and they'll guide you, and then you'll know where to go from that.
Yeah. But I feel like sometimes clients are very testy, y'all. They come and you're like, sometimes. And they're like, well, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
I've gotten plenty of that.
Excuse me.
I've gotten plenty of that, especially and
I was thinking younger because then they're like doubtful, right?
Majority of the time, like they're more respectful and they're actually like, oh, I don't want to offend you. Is this okay? The ones that test me the first 5 years ago, and I did look like really young back then too.
You still do.
Oh, thank you.
Look like a baby.
I just turned 12 yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. But they would test me and be like, oh, Min Sai, go to na go shaya she yevli kya go to. And he'll sit.
Oh my God.
Yep, and he was like this, all high and mighty. And I was just like,
Go have a dirty secret. He was, oh, could you talk on?
actually, some of those, like, I just have to be real. Okay, so this guy came with his wife. And so his wife heard of my reputation, right? But he hasn't. So long story short, he wanted a second wife. But and then so she was mad. She didn't want to be there. And I was just like, oh, they're mad. Like, why are they here, right? And then so he sat down. He's like, and I said, where? He's like, right? And then so for 30 minutes, and I'm looking at like, and so go there, do you see how con do shana go san nong ra chi de tian. Yo de go chi nong ke being ta pe le no so ke back for go la sa bao sa ma go mo pa tao ma go there go mo yo bi ke go mo tao ma, right? And then so I kept saying that, and then his wife that min sa ha ki ro go yin bao ke do you see na ki ta to na ki yin sa bao de ni mu ti u ni pa to ni yao. And then so things like that, but he was trying to test me to see if I know what he wanted to come and ask. And then I looked at him straight in the eyes and go there. Go your star, go to Bonnie tree, Lauro got there, going, go to Bonnie Congo, going young, go to Bonnie, and yeah, ma, inside. Yeah, that's what she said to me. And then he need that. Yelling, yin yali gama, yin the king, yet in the Bonnie, die again, church it down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Oh my God.
yeah, so many cases like that. Yeah, I mean, usually, usually.
I feel like Lao Zhao and maybe male, because go you can tie her,
I don't want to call people out today. We do that every other episode already. No, but it's true. Usually it is a male.
Yeah.
And that they're older, yeah. Yeah. Japonia ma yo le tsi le toki le yin desperate le yin sa bao de dian na yo. Then sometimes and sometimes like le don't you tap base, and then they start. Remember, I was much younger back then.
Yes, exactly.
And they start like, oh, okay, so you're the go don't talk I was like, what? In the middle of a session, he's asking if I'm willing to date his son, and I'm like, okay, like you guys just remember 18 years of this.
Yeah.
But then that also goes to show, like, you can still see that means even if they came for to shai le or le shai mong, you already see everything, right?
I see everything, and well, at my office, go church flat right now. So because it's too hard to explain to you guys. Or imagine if you're not from our culture, right? It's too hard to explain that.
Yeah.
But back then, when yes, going for everything, I only answer how you guys want me to answer. So one of the first questions is, why are you here? And then second is, right off the bat. Because Hmong is more expensive, first of all, and it takes longer, but not only that, it's unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
So, it's more necessary and it's more needed. But yeah, the vast majority at what's going on at hand. The Shima you wean out what it is that they need to know. And certain things, if they don't need to know, then I can't tell them also.
Okay.
And I don't tell them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Again, people, live a little. We can't tell you guys everything.
That's so good. That's so awesome. I love it. But do you find that some people come and misuse your services as well?
All the time. I wish I can make this 10 things don't do, or and plaster it everywhere or something. But yes, there are sometimes I just feel like, especially Lechi from our culture too, like Lechi understand what gay Shaya is, and they'll come and ask like all the questions. And I'm like, you understand? I'm a shaman, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Give us some examples. I know you have a lot.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, so, some examples, like, okay, let me take this couple. So this couple came one day, and mind you, I was, 10 years ago. So she came one day with her husband, sat in, my living room. And so they kind of looked like upset, even though the two seats are together, like the husband's turning right, she's turning left. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is really awkward. And so I was like, oh, nito siya yachi. And then so she sat down, she's like, Min Thai, go shay shay, ge hilong yakotu. Right? So for those of you who can't speak Hmong, or doesn't understand Hmong, basically she said, as soon as she sat down, she said, where's the love? And I was looking at her like, like, what do you mean? And so she's like, started crying. Well, she was worried and crying, and she felt like her husband didn't love her like his first wife, and that she felt like,
oh, she's second one?
Yeah.
But Nahlu is still there too?
Yes. So
that's a tough situation.
Yeah. So I'll spare everybody. It was a long session, but it was not Geishanyai. That is Gendwa. So, going into Shaimanji, like what the real situation is too, so that I know the whole story. Because when clients come to me, I don't take their word. They can tell me their side of the story or their truth, right? Or their viewpoint. Sure. But go to Shai so that I see the big picture, so that I can talk to them and talk to them about their situation. So I was telling her, like, but it's because you're very envious of Tunelora. So Tunelora so I forgot how many kids she has, like 5, 6, I think 6 kids or something like that. But so there was just jealousy everywhere. And so really good more. It was more scolding than anything. And then she had a wake up call, epiphany, and then she's like, she understands now, and so go home. That's what I heard from the child. Okay, on the daily knowledge, but I remember I was very young.
Yeah, I was just picturing in my head like a 16-year-old talking to these older couple.
Yeah, that was me.
That is so funny.
And probably like 4 or 5 years only. So I was still, in my 20s. Yeah. But for like in their 40s or 50s, because if not, then so that was definitely a counseling session and not a Saib Yaig session.
I'm surprised Saib Yaig, well, you said counseling, right? But you did tap in.
Yeah, well, naturally, because I just have to tap in. Because if I don't tap in, then I don't know the real story. Yeah. Because she told me like
oh yeah, we said there's 3 stories to that. Yeah.
There's her story.
You found the third story.
Yeah. So as a shaman, I have to step back, look at it as a whole, and Saib Yaig so that I know the truth. Yeah. Because she's gonna tell her side only, of course, and she's perfect, right? Yeah. And then he's gonna tell his side because he's also perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And then Tunela can't speak for herself, nor the kids can't speak for themselves. So then I have to do a thorough job and make sure I see the full story before I can donga. Because and remember, they thought I was like probably a senior in high school at that time. So I have a lot to prove and a lot to show them that, okay, you can know. And as soon as someone says, oh, no, so automatically I get all this like prejudice thoughts already. I get a stereotype go, oh, Hmong, and all that things right. So I do have to show up and all in those. So but again, that's not how you should use a spiritual reading.
Right.
In fact, they could have went to Yaguti or Nengchan, not me, right? But only recommend go. Yeah. So
then for sure, put the
So yung the name what you who goes na. That's why the bit or your podcast on the so sometimes with go more to blog because I thought shy but it ends up being like go really high blog basically and mediate and all in the and so I guess it's okay because you have to you have to shando you're more not biased.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That is the what are they? The mediator, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Fun stuff, people. Fun stuff.
You have any more?
I do. And sometimes like people, like when there was that app boom, and so this guy, he's Cambodian, and he's from San Jose, and he came to me, and for 4 hours he's trying to talk to me, like help me, like how do I develop this? I'm looking at him like, dude, I don't know anything about developing an app. And I don't think I'm the right person for you. I'm trying to convince him.
I'm guessing this is before AI.
This is way before.
Or ChatGPT.
Yes, this is before ChatGPT, AI, and everything. This is a long time ago. And so things like that we're spiritual leaders. We're not programmers. We're not, I don't even know who develops apps, right? So if you come to us like that, or you're like, what am I going to tell you? Oh, you go code this? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Will it be good? And well, I don't know. Like, what's your app? I don't even know your app. And he's like, oh, just like to rate things. I was like, kind of like Yelp. He's like, yeah, but different. I was like, again, I'm not in the business. I don't know. And like, I have if I don't understand the situation, I cannot give you advice on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that may be just me. So, maybe another shaman, spiritual leader may be okay with it, but I still feel like we're here for spiritual stuff and we're not here to like, I don't know if your app will do well or not. Another thing, what people thought Cheyenne is like just like confirmation. And so there's this lady, Nia Mayo, so she's Hispanic, and so she came and she has evidence, everything, let's just say a lot of stuff in the car as proof and evidence on Dutsi Chironuna, and he's been doing it for years, right? And so, first of all, I don't even know how she heard about me. But anyway, so she came to me and she wanted me to confirm that her husband is cheating. And so I looked at her and I said, Mama, like, you're not here for a spiritual reading. Work on yourself because clearly you're broken. And what do you want me to say to you? Do you want me to confirm that the evidence that you found? Well, like, if you want confirmation, why don't you go get a DNA test? Why don't you go, something like that, right? Because what happens is, and if you're a new shaman, please listen. You don't want to take these cases that they already know the answer and they're looking for confirmation. Number one, if she's handles it correctly and in a good manner, then you're out of it. But okay, so might happen to go personally. So there's this lady that came and she knew that her husband was cheating. So she came and she asked me, oh, how's my husband and my life? Are we good? I was like, yeah. And this is the 4th year, so I was a little smarter now, but not that smart. And then so she kept asking, and then she finally said, I want to know, I'm going to be, honest with you. I want to know, the reason why I'm here today is I want to know if my husband's cheating on me. Dude, I saw that a mile away. And she knows it too. So then I was like, I don't want to say it because you're already so hurt. So no, and why don't we just look at you spiritually to see if you are okay? Again, spiritual realm, right? Where I'm in charge of, not infidelity, right?
Yeah.
And then so, long story short, I was like, she promised me all these good things that she just wants to confirm, and she needs to. But long story short, she confirmed it, okay, and then almost thought about because
that you said
that I was the one who told her, and that's why confirmed in China
that's what I was thinking too.
In China,
the people that needs confirmation for infidelity, they're afraid to move on from him or her, right? So they want you to say it,
and they blame it on me.
But that part is messed up, though.
It is very messed up, right? And then so that has happened a couple of times. So that's why I no longer do it. And you have the high blood, which they never did. But you high blood, bring it on, right?
Yeah.
Because she was the one who wanted to know.
Exactly.
I already warned her, you can't handle it, and why don't we just work on things that you can handle, that you need to. And so but and so I'm pretty sure that and said that I'm the reason, and because if not, I can't think of another way why Lo would upload if it wasn't that, right?
Yeah.
So I was very disappointed in her. Actually, after that, I banned her from coming to Shire because I told her that I love you, I want to help you. And you will throw everybody under the bus just to try to conquer the tea because you can't. So I don't want any part of this drama.
That's a total misuse.
Up. So yes, she can no longer come to me.
That's total misuse of your service and just in person, right? Like, let's say we're friends or whatever. I mean, you and I are friends. But like, why would I go and twist your words to make you get in trouble, Yeah, that's so messed up.
So be warned, all the new shamans, be careful.
Okay, then in regards to Shayana, I think some people see it as bad or a sin, right? And that we shouldn't know the future. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it is important to understand that seeking guidance is not a sin. And it's just you probably in turmoil or in a dilemma, and you're just looking for help to help go with your certain situation, right? And a reading is just merely a spiritual practitioner's way of researching to help you lead the way. And so I don't understand, and also I can't reason and see why that would be considered a sin. In fact, like in the future, we just go, like, we may give you warnings like, don't do this, like, you may get into trouble. But we as shamans, and if someone's doing this, sorry, please stop. But we're not supposed to, and usually we don't, like, tell you how to live your life and say, in the future, it's not that concrete because remember, your decisions now and tomorrow changes your future also. So even though it may not be true anymore because you changed. You're no longer the same person that you were yesterday, right? So, and some people, actually, some people actually come up to me and call me a sinner. And
really?
They come, not so much anymore, but back then, or they're going, I don't condone what you do because like that's, like evil work or things like that, right? And so here's what I have to say to them is that remember that we're all God's children. And this gift was bestowed upon me. I didn't just wake up one day and go, okay, Susan, go king, right? Like, I didn't press a button. It's not that easy. So for the Creator to give me this gift and for them to call me a sinner, then what are they saying about the Creator himself? Okay? So, and he or she or they were the ones who put me on earth to help people.
Right.
All people. Right? So I just think that it's a very distorted way to look at it. And again, as humans, we're a mind, body, spirit. And that's why, that you won't bake it. It's going to be too hard for the humans to, be spiritually strong or to mediate between two worlds, right? So I don't think that it's a sin to seek spiritual reading for guidance. And also, I don't think that those of us who can are sinners, because in my eyes, I see that it's a gift from God that we can help you all, because they're far and they can't be here to help you all, that we're his helpers and we're here to help you all.
Yeah. And sometimes like when you're down on your luck and you don't have the will or the power or just the mental clarity to go somewhere, and I come to you, I was like, Susan, I'm so lost, right? And I'm so lost for like 3 years. What is it for me? What's my next thing, right? And if you even if you just say keep going and you're going the right path, I'm like, great, this is what I'm gonna do, right? So like it's that motivation. It motivates that person to do what they need to do, right? So I feel like, yeah, that shouldn't be a sin.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so so I know what to do and I know what to bring, but can you tell us a little bit about what people need to bring to a Shayai and how to officially ask to Shayai?
Okay, so every shaman is different, and we're talking about shamans today because sometimes you can go to psychics and they use tarot cards. So we're not talking about other spiritual practitioners. We're talking about shamans today. So in our Hmong culture, usually a booklet or a joss paper, incense, and also some sort of monetary donation, right? But always check with a shaman, because sometimes it all considered required candles, leaves, other things like that. So always make sure about the additional stuff, but usually can you don't know. If they're more traditional, right? Nowadays, mostly everybody to make sure that they're home, to see if there's a time that things like that, right? But nowadays, some shamans, they're so modern, and you can go on their website and go, okay, I want that, so all in the either shaman. So actually, I'm actually very proud that some of us actually do offer that. So it's easier for people too. We're moving with the times also. So just check and call around, and to see shaman, people around, right? So ask them, how do I go about it? Are they traditional? Are they more modern? What can I do? And you have to know what the check always pay now. Okay. Majority of time, shamans but those are in the rare. So you have to, for example, I have my office. So when people come at my office, it's not my house, I don't have my altar there and things like that. So but if you come to my house, I do expect, if you're a guy, by the way, I do expect go to bed, because that's to kowtow, basically, because that's a sign of respect in my culture. So
yeah, you know what you just said earlier reminded me, because dad, when he was alive, but our house was there's always people coming in and out, and my mom and I were gonna go to the store, and strangers, Hmong, right? And my mom was like, oh, I was like, but
I want to go to the store.
And we have to go sit there, and then obviously I don't listen to their story because I don't really know anything at that time, right? But I wish I did, because it's interesting now, right? But yeah, our doors were always open for strangers to thaw.
That's the life of a shaman. And so before, and that's one of the reasons why I opened my office also, because it's people were humans too. And that boundaries maybe you shouldn't come to my house anymore, right? Things like that. So and like so many of them would just come to my house randomly.
Yeah.
And sometimes like so many people come at once and nobody calls me, nobody tells me
right.
that there's a long line or people outside waiting because of the and I'm like, oh my gosh, my neighbors are gonna think I'm doing drugs or something, right? And so after a few years of that, I was like, I think I need an office. So now that my personal space doesn't feel invaded, and that I have hours, and that people will respect those hours and things like that, right? But before, it's exactly what you said. Like I did not have a life. Like
I believe
serve people 24 hours, and sometimes they'll stay until like midnight or past midnight.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, but we waited like. Okay. So in our culture, we're very hospitable, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like shaya, and then because they've been waiting for 4, 5, 6 hours, now I feel obligated to go cook or one day, and then and then because that's how I was taught and raised. And then after a while, I was like after 5, 6 years of that, I was like, Dad, like I cannot keep this up. And mind you, or that I feel like the it's just that. Like you say that, and then remember I don't say okay. So say that is like, oh, and then like pause, and then I'm the one cooking, right? Because can you imagine like you don't say that mom and dad go cook now, right? Like right? So it was really hard and really tough, and so in the beginning, but after a while, I started like giving people time. I started telling them, okay, time limits and everything, because in the beginning now, Hmong people, we don't have time limits, right? We don't go, because you're not supposed to shaya for 5 hours, by the way. But a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why nowadays, more modern shamans, we do go, 30 minutes, isamong, because people will take advantage of us and try to dokunyal for 8 hours. Yeah, and that has definitely happened.
Yeah. So then for you, what does an ideal session look like, and what should people not do during the session?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in our culture, you have the shaimana, right? They're required that you need to know. Okay. It should just be 15, 20 minutes.
Like, really?
Straight to the point. Like, why is it you're here? Oh, I have bad dreams. Oh, can you shake, especially in my week? Boom, 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 bam, you're done. Okay, so now that that's the reading or the outcome, what do I need to do? Boom, 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 bam, done. You're out of my house, right? That's a true way of what Kishaya is supposed to be. And if you don't understand things and you need like, okay, well, I don't understand that, or well, what do you mean? Okay, maybe 30, 40 minutes because I'm teaching you and telling you things. But Shaya for Shaimana should not be like 2-3 hours. And then sometimes they'll Shaimana, but they're asking me to teach them how to hupli. And I'm like, lady, do you understand there's 6 people waiting? I don't have time to teach you to huplina. That means I will be a sihu and you'll be a student. And today, go to Saib Yaig and go to. So, and people would do that to me. So, I'll call mama, it shouldn't be long. Because you're lost and you're talking about future, and it's going to be a lot of explaining and researching, right? Then it may be like up to an hour. And I said up to. So like 30, 40 minutes should be good, right? And again, it should be fast. Like, what's my career? When will I meet the one? Whatever I'm doing right now, is it okay? Will I have children, right? It shouldn't be like, oh, okay, dashima, and just prolong the time. And you're Mona for 2, 3, 4 hours. You are definitely abusing that shaman, overusing their time. So please be respectful of our time also. Because every single minute or hour that you take, it's that time away from someone who truly needs it, right? So about an hour. And some people and sometimes I'm sorry to say this, and I will expose myself right now too. Sometimes I tell them, and I'm trying to prolong it because last week, it's only been 7 days. Life has not happened enough for go to for something to even pop up, right? The reading is going to be exactly the same. So go to give it time. Probably, about 2-3 months, obviously you have emergency case going on and something very serious going on. By all means, please shy again today. Right? But you shouldn't get a reading like every day or every week, even every month. Like, why?
Yeah.
I just feel like, and then also, Hmong, and you ladies have to listen, and everybody, please listen. Hmong, you shouldn't do it often. And some people, this lady from Fresno, she called me and she told me that Hmong every month. And I said, why? Why are you doing that? So
is it for different things each month?
No, yeah, yeah. And then so every month and I was just like, lady,
but the answer is the same, right?
No, so she goes to the same one, and also she hops around like different genres.
I see.
And then so I was telling her like you shouldn't do that, and pay attention why you shouldn't do it. It's because it's a different story, okay? But okay. So every single time we're actually tapping in to go whole destiny to go whole life flow, okay? So that because if not, how else am I going to know?
Right.
Like, how do you think I'm getting the answer? Right? And so, it's not too bad, right? But imagine tapping it like so often, it creates a bigger dip and eventually a hole.
Yeah.
So what that does is it can mess up, switch and alter your future. So my recommendation is probably again, if something tragic happens, like, 3-4 months ago, but you lost your job or you're going to move, like something drastic like that, then by all means, please, right? But like, I don't understand what she's, shying for every month. And again, I would tell her, you need to work on yourself and you need counseling and not a shy. So be careful. Okay? So stop it.
Oh, I didn't know that I can do that. It's like bending. Like I when you were saying that, I pictured like a pipe, right? And you're doing it and then like it starts to bend, but it was supposed to go that way originally,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so be careful.
Yeah. Well, going back to like the sessions that you have people too, right? We were mainly talking about a single person coming. But what if they're like a family or a couple? Then wouldn't they need more time, or do you combine the sessions?
Yeah. So, if you live in the same household and y'all like in other words, like parents and kids, then we do combine it.
Okay.
But sometimes uncles live with you, right?
Yeah.
Or grandmas or aunties live with you. And so sometimes people actually to combine the session. And so that's not right. By the way. So if it's okay. But I find it that normally, by the way, I had this client that came, and so he lied to me that his nephew was his son. And so combined their session, and then when they went home, my mom's like, that was his nephew, right? I was like, of course, I didn't. I didn't even know who they were, right? So, I mean, just things like that. And we'll probably do, or maybe not, but I need to talk about all the abuse that big shamans, get. And, so appreciate us and be nice to us because we've been through a lot.
Yes.
So if we have set rules in place, trust me, someone did something to us. And we're just trying to protect us and you all.
Yes.
So, yes, really good question. So, combined sessions, they will take longer. And in my office or at my office, actually, I don't combine it unless I right? But it's good that for every adult in the family, they should have their own session. It's just better that way because there's just so much to look at compared to someone who's 8, But with that being said, choose wisely. Who really does need a reading and who doesn't? And sometimes, like, especially mamas, they come to me and they're just so worried and they have like a family of 12 or something. And they're like, everybody, why are they going through things? No, la shaisa. And I'm looking at her like, okay, right? But then I don't do that anymore. So why are you tapping into it, right?
Yeah.
Why are you looking into it?
Yes.
And that's when it's a much better, because we're in the other world and it's better and it's not that we're trying to tap in, right? So those are a better way and things like that. It's more like a shortcut version and you need to know now, so let's get to the bottom of it, right? So you have 6 people, choose wisely. Probably just choose the 2 or the 3 that needs to know, right? And then the other probably another session or that you need to know. And sometimes mamas are just really worried, and I say mamas because truly they're usually just mamas, and like they'll come and ito mama mo hang ho. Ito was like, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
She's 15.
But sometimes we don't know. Cause like, I think that it's for this kid. I'm like, oh, I think this kid is like this. But then sometimes you're like, no, do no more trouble. I was like, oh, really? I didn't even know.
So first of all, that's an insider's information. And I know you very well. So that's true. So, but what I'm trying to say is like, for someone to feel the urge to it's like something wrong. Or you feel there's something wrong. That word meaning just in case, or I'm just curious for curiosity's sake. Like there isn't anything that truly worries me, but I just want you to check into just in case or like we're just doing it for the heck of it, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. She sees that her daughter is very depressed and something's obviously wrong. Well, that's a different case too. But in this case, she already knew what was wrong. Her daughter is 15. She has a little boyfriend, and that's why I call Shanna. But she still wanted me to look into it. And so after I spoke about it, she's like, oh yeah, and then again, so things like that, right?
Yeah.
And then so because and she wanted to go more, I was like, no, like we're done, right? So don't first of all, don't test us. And second, it's like, well, you didn't need to know that. You knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
why she's in her room 5 days a week.
Exactly. She doesn't, and she's like, I was like,
Yeah. Okay, then to shift gears a little, I know you mentioned in the previous episode we talked about Shai to Bao if you're a shaman, right? And you recommend that to Shai for that, then you should go to multiple shamans to confirm it. What about general readings? Do you also recommend the same thing?
So correction, I said a second opinion.
Okay.
Don't say multiple, because you don't want to to shaman. That's way too much. So we don't want to.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. Like by the 18th, I'm pretty sure you know already. So I said second opinion. Okay. So for a regular reading, I don't recommend to get a second opinion, especially if it's small. Like you come well, why are you going to go and get 5 readings to confirm that, right? Now, if they're like, oh, your clan is cursed and you have to move, just like really huge things, then yes, please get a second reading, just in case the shaman or probably it's not that, like just to confirm. And, to be honest, it's like, like even this microphone, right? Go give me your view. You're going to describe this side. And if I tell Punya to give me her view, she may not see all this and she'll just give me this side. So just because, all the shaman that's exactly the same law, or like close law, take it as that too.
It's the microphone.
Right. Because some people might not like it. I was like, wait, isn't that the same? Like, because what she meant was Hmong as in like our clan. right? So whether and your clan, like it is, right? So don't be too stuck on technical terms and go,
That's me straight up.
yeah. So lo shai a lo po lo in the lo niki second opinion or third even is okay, but let bong pli ki lo no who please just do it. Don't waste your money and time on getting 4 readings just because someone think yeah.
But how do you know which shaman to go to? But, I always just use you, right? But I know who I'm going to.
Well, for a second opinion or just a reading in general?
Second opinion.
Okay, so second opinion, so we have to use our brains now. We think logically. So you have to look at you want to get a second opinion from a reputable shaman that to shaman that has done cases such as that. So the expertise to in that part. Because what she does is call or just or solely just fix people spiritually, strong and they let you hype or it is that what another shaman told you. He or she may not be able to help you because that's not their niche. Or they don't take care of that. So they may not see it. Like for example, if you go to your primary doctor and he says A, B, C, D, F, element of P is wrong with you, or is wrong with heart, even the primary doctor will send you to a cardiologist who specializes in no Europe blood, right? So the same thing with shamans. Like you can the element of P no dokana, e ko homoto e to a D the no, but element of P over here. Then of course, like you course like you right? So you use deduct reasoning that okay, and that's the most logic sense. If they don't know how to do it, how are they even going to or you're like why would you go to that shaman? Because what's the point? So, and this is totally my opinion. So I myself would rather go to a shaman that done deal. Now got the information, but what are you gonna do with it? Now no one got back, especially you have to let you bought in here.
But what if you have an auntie that is your go-to nanning all the time,
to make
right?
people hate me?
No, I'm just saying because what if you always go to her, but Kuchijong, right? And then you want to get a second opinion because Hmong mocha a tutusha. Yes. Yeah. So then how do you break that? And how would do I just go and say, oh, sorry, right?
Well, usually, right?
Yes, right.
So I always tell people that you have to name and she or he. Or sometimes and you at all. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this and this, and you're like, no,
I never had,
right? And then they're like, what? Are you sure? Okay, well, maybe you should go to another shaman, right? And with that being said, let's say it is your dad, it is your aunt, but you have to in this one case here, prime example, I have this case where so their grandkid, right? Their granddaughter, and she's getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So and she came to me and she's like, I really want to come to you, but I don't know if in-laws, but me and my husband, we really want to seek outside because all the doctors saying she's normal, but their daughter knew and physically you're seeing symptoms, right? So she came to me, and by the way, go ma ya doing like patient and shen they tend to ya de ni sa ta sana please don't call but it's nang na de go sa to sha yan go shi go to chi ga like save that story for someone else go tell your friend or your family and don't call me and tell me go to jin zo ga da shi go sa to na ga and then just hang up and I'm like wait what was that call about right
So are you coming or not?
or don't call until you're serious
Yes.
right that's what I'm trying to say and so what I told her was at the end of the day especially because 那顿菜呢有肉肉呢你有冇那顿菜做些包可给杜些了 and she cried
Yeah.
and she said because uying chai and then so they went to the father-in-law again. The father-in-law was like, no, just go to her only, right? And so and then her
See, that's so tough.
and by the way they both live with their in-laws also.
Oh yeah, it's so tough.
But good for the dad. You know why? Because her husband put his feet down and said, nope. Utu or and I don't know how many times like babe but I'm gonna say babe to be nice. So I'm gonna go outside. And they did.
Yeah.
And so their daughter was saved. And you know what it was?
Wow.
That was it. But the Pondana got the which is impossible because his parents are alive.
Yeah.
And then so she said, Tino. And then so the grandpa was like, maybe it's because my parents aren't alive. So
They got free parties.
yeah, so they did all that stuff, but and then she got better, but she was still and then so and all I did was, and by the way, they live with in-laws, so in-laws should put a J too. But good for them, they still stood their ground.
The second shaman, the in-laws, she put the J.
The second mak which bojani mo shaya ta like ki losa.
Oh, okay.
The shima on lot shaya the go and then go need to mo who bleed to change the lu bay. The shima new parents she bonga or new parents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Because gondone potsi
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
So I was that. So I'm actually the third one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but the Dutch came and stood his ground and he came to new to bake on it to ne tai ko talk on and no go yo ori ja pa to ko dun sai na mo te ka chi pa ki to te na and talk back on and I said it's okay yo te ko ne de ka ti silent the chi po ne ko ne dun sai na lo to ko so it's okay. Yeah. So I know I'm too nice. Yeah,
I thought you only do it for me.
You're not that special anymore.
Now I know.
Yes. Yeah, so I opened my house because or if they live in apartments or they can't being but so within 3 days like that, right? Don't make me cry. Yeah, so
You know, I have daughters, right? They're both.
and then yeah. So then that was it. Even but they're just so thankful.
Yeah.
And so it's just something so simple.
Yeah.
We're not here to blame anybody.
Yeah.
The most important thing is that let's just move on.
Yeah.
Because a prediction. So what if that's what she was getting or whatever it is and I don't really know, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on. But so back to the point I'm trying to make is just move on. Someone's
Yeah, but I think a lot of people need to hear that because definitely he needed to hear that because they have that respect for their dad, right? Boys see respect, and you're like, okay, well, look at your daughter, her life or the respect for your dad, right? He's like, I'm choosing my girl, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of people need to hear like that part of the
And the saddest part is this is a, happy ending story. And then some people,
Wow.
I've seen so many cases.
Yeah,
and I'll
I can
save that
see
for
that
another
too.
day because but so many cases that or sometimes too.
or their spouse.
Yeah, or even their spouses. Yeah, that they just let things
Forget
occur.
it then, yeah.
Yeah, Need to share my
That is sad.
yeah.
Okay, then with all these readings, after you get a reading
Back
from
to
a
it.
shaman, and lay hai dao, right? Okay, we're saying that it works, ni dao. And then what do you do after that? How do you take it?
The reading?
Yes.
Well, okay, so and I want to make this very clear. It's an interpretation, right? Remember the microphone? And
Guyang.
Guyang, yes.
I have not heard of that term. And I love terms.
Vocabulary.
Yes.
Stick around, people. Vocabulary.
That means
So,
interpretation.
Guyang it's like a guess.
A
like
guess,
I'm guessing.
okay.
Yeah. But for Limikaki, interpretation makes better. But I guess is the literal translation.
Okay.
So because remember, we're humans too, right? So, for example, you've never seen a water bottle before, and you water bottle, and I don't know what it is, and my country don't have it, and because sometimes I'm born here, right? And sometimes and I'm like, what is that? And I would have to draw it out for my mom, and mom was like, I'm sorry, I'm born here.
Yeah.
What is Davo, right? And then so I would have to explain, right? But I couldn't say that to her. So I was like, because I've never seen that in person before, right? And so just things like that. So and it's an interpretation. And also, even our solutions, our suggestions, at the end of the day, called situational, to help guide the one who makes the ultimate decision. Du bongya lo du yomun tian neng te un ten on ba lo du din neng lo yin du so your guidance so have that power and don't feel like, oh man, I'm gonna go do all these rituals even though that doesn't make sense. So no and you have to think logically, so put it in the back of your mind as a guide. Okay, but you shouldn't take it as, oh, it's like, something set in stone. Change because go change go to and then some people be like, well, because right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so and then your future do change. So it doesn't mean I was wrong. It means I helped you change your future because,
it altered.
Because every day say and then you started exercising, you started socializing, and then you're like, oh, how come I'm okay now? Well, but you altered that situation already. So yeah, so and so many people, especially when community tied it in Blona, and they told me like, this monk, by next year, and they're all scared, and now they're getting skinny. They're like, like they're so pale, and I tell them, I was just like, who said that to you, right? And so let's say because any good shaman and good spiritual leader, we would not tell you. We would not tell you because, again, we're put here to help guide and support Nana. We're not put on earth to scare you.
Sure.
So we would not tell you because we want you to live life out. And you're going to check go all in on it, right?
Yeah.
And then some people in China that they take their own life.
Yes.
By the way, I went to Thailand and unless she pays him this much and that much.
Wow.
Long story short, she took her life after 6-7 months of getting that reading.
Oh my god.
So, keep talking about but anyways, I want to teach and tell people these things because and there was no way. Anyways, I'll save that for another episode. But yeah, so okay.
But what if like and the family or the person, the people disregards the information? Does that happen? And have you had cases like that?
Yes. Like and then now we're more talking or going more into the warnings, right? So and please listen. So I do have a case.
Yes,
for you.
my favorite. I love stories.
So nu moi tu okay, nu so nu tu tin pass away do yo xiong ke nu sa samu de shuo. So nu hu do go de de min cai go sa samu de shuo na h talen da go de go tun cai samu de shuo e len da nu no go hu do shai yai ne e yen da mu do te ka shai like well we have a safe journey basically. And then so go mo shai ta ke go de de tai go mo ma dao na da shi go tun cai ke go chi bo mo. And so she was like 我家嘛嗰種菜都攞出過我多出過係全部多我家啊嗰啲草木呢嗰啲嗰度整個青鳥了嗰度面菜都些你自己呢學但是呢見你都些見你都變年了嘛嗰草木給你冇去讓我嗰冇嘅冇到嘅no nu ke chamo so nite the mean sai ka hale ko ko do yo pita ne surely she already bought plane tickets.
They were going to go regardless.
Yeah, they're going to go regardless. But so in other words, ta be han yo ko do bao no ko ho to chi no. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so they're going to go regardless. So I was trying to convince her. I was like, no, like ya te ko dun sai will feel some sort of way and you feel bad, like just cancel everything. She's like, we can't cancel. So I was like, how much is your plane ticket? I said that to her and she told me, and it was like really cheap during that time. And then so I was like, how about this? I send you the money for her portion and you don't take her.
So that's serious.
It's serious. And so that you understand how serious I am. And I mean business. Like, so she's like, and then her daughter in the background, I can hear her like, oh no, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm fine. And then I was just like, oh, these people, right?
But like, if you're not going to take someone serious, then why did you call them to Saib Yaig, right? That's the whole point of that.
And that's why we're doing this episode. And so, go ahead and go cancel your ticket.
And this is not a threat. This is a warning.
It's not a threat.
Yeah.
It's, because I was so afraid. It was certain that it was going to happen if she went. But I couldn't say that to her.
Yeah.
I just had to say everything else. I was willing to pay for her daughter's ticket.
Yeah.
And so she was like, right? And then so I told her, like, and you're going to regret this. Meaning, in translate to English for some of you, is, lady, one day you're going to cry, tears of blood, and you're going to regret this, and you're going to remember my words. So, of course, they didn't take me seriously. They went overseas to China, and then they came back. And I think it was a little over a year, her daughter passed away.
Oh my God.
In her sleep.
Was it okay?
Wow.
So it was sudden.
It was sudden.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like she got into an accident or anything like that. And there were no known illnesses.
Yeah.
And so that was very sad. And when she passed away, Nutupli actually came and apologized and, sent messages and things like that. Of course, I didn't tell the family.
Yeah. How could you?
Well, I mean, they're strangers, first of all.
Well,
I did have their numbers, but, it was just a very unfortunate situation.
So then after all that, did you confront the mother or how did she feel about it?
I mean, I should have. Right?
Yeah.
No, of course not. I did not confront the mother because, she lost Nudun Sainzona. That was her baby.
It's too touchy, too.
It's very touchy. And remember, her husband just died 3 years before, right before her daughter passed away. So, of course, I didn't go, right? And so, because I did go to Minnesota, I think the year after.
Did you see her?
Of course I did. Yeah. But I didn't say anything to her. So she couldn't look at me in the eye. And she kind of looked down, avoidance and things like that. And I didn't say anything to her because, and that was the decision and also the guilt that she's going to have and take on for the rest of her life. And I did my part. I tried. Come on. I even said, I don't even know her. And I said, let me send you money so that, because yeah. So it was very unfortunate, but a young life was lost.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you're my bestie. I listen to everything you say, right?
Same here too.
Good. No, and I warn you too, okay?
Oh my goodness.
And another thing is that, we mean it.
Yes.
And Jonah, we're not here to rain on your parade. We don't know you.
Yeah.
We want you to go on that vacation. We want you to have fun. But don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Well, thank you so much. I think in this podcast today, we learned a lot, especially about how to Saib Yaig, what to do, not to do. So if you can just sum it all up about what everyone should take away from today.
Okay, sure. To sum it all up, when you feel the need for a shayana, just do it. Don't do it often though, but do it when you feel like you need it. And when you're going through troubling experiences or just a desire for guidance, for your life. So consider getting a reading. And remember that you Saib Yaig for things that you're uncertain about. So if you know that your husband is cheating, you shouldn't come. Or if you're developing an app, don't bother us. Okay. And you should keep it short and simple and down to the point. Don't beat around the bush. And please be honest with us, and be straightforward so that we can help you and guide you to where you need to be. Because we're here for you and it's your session. And the more that you mislead us, will mislead you also. So remember that. And above all, remember that you're still in control of your destiny. And okay, hopefully go do it. All in all, okay, well then try to mend it and make things different. If it was a bad reading, and if it's a great reading, awesome, good for you. And we're humans also. So please be respectful and respect our time and energy also. Because it does take a lot of energy, especially if you have negative energy or it's a heavy case, right? And then after a reading, keep it in the back of your mind just to help guide you. It shouldn't be law for you now, right? Keep that in mind because sometimes people, that it changed their lives also, right? Or it alters who they are. And it's a simple guidance. You're not supposed to come to us and we're writing a law for you. So keep that in mind. And lastly, you are in control of your destiny. So be good, try to help your situation, and don't misuse us for our services. And what I really just want to say to all you out there is stay strong, everybody. Believe in yourself, use logic, and you'll be fine. But until then, everyone, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast today. We hope you have gained some insights that have changed your perspective and positively influenced you for the future. Be sure to check out our social media and follow, share, and subscribe. We also want to hear your thoughts. Please go to our Facebook or Instagram page and ask questions or post comments on there. And as always,
be kind and go make the world a better place.